Welcome everyone to our Social Media 101 for Advocacy in preparation for Housing and Homelessness Advocacy Day on February 17th. I'm Erin Murphy, the Director of Community Engagement for the YWCA Seattle Kingston Homish and manager of our YWCA Firesteel Advocacy Network. I'm joined today with Joaquin.
Hi, I'm Joaquin Wee. I'm the communications specialist over here at the Washington Low Income Housing Alliance.
Great, thanks. We're also really lucky to have Denise Miller, our Firesteel Advocacy Coordinator, behind the scenes today. She is the one that's going to be walking us through all the really helpful visuals. So thanks, Denise. We are also really excited to have you joining us today, whether you're viewing online or perhaps in person with our partners at Seattle University. Hello to everybody in the room at SU. So glad to have you join us. The purpose of our training today is to provide some social media basics, specifically for Facebook and Twitter, and if we have some time, touching on Instagram, so that you can feel more comfortable using social media to advocate for affordable housing. We realize that we probably won't be speaking to everybody's level at every time, but hopefully there is something for everybody at various times. Don't hesitate to ask any questions along the way. There is no question too basic. If you are with our Seattle U partners, feel free to ask Catherine over there to message us a question that we can respond in real time. Or you can also email your question to Denise, who's behind the scenes. It is dmiller, M-I-L-L-E-R, at ywcaworks.org. We really want to make sure that this is valuable for you, and so tailoring what we're talking about to your questions. We often get pretty comfortable with all the social media jargon, so if we ever say anything that's feeling above your head, just please stop us, let us know. So before we dive in with some of the practical tools, I'm going to ask Joaquin to say just a few words about the value of social media for advocacy purposes. So Joaquin, why does social media work when it comes to advocacy?
Well, social media is actually a great tool for getting the word out about a lot of our housing and homelessness issues. And it's also a great tool for educating people because kind of the whole point of our new digital world is to really get information out there to folks. And social media has shown to be an excellent resource in that regard. I have this quick PowerPoint which I'm going to share with you. It's not going to take that long. It's just, can you all see it?
Yes.
So last year, some of you have heard that we had this document recording fee bill, and it's a small recording fee on certain real estate documents, and that's a huge source of money for homelessness programs, county and statewide. And the hashtag that we used for that last year was hashtag DRF 2014. And what happened was a certain senator who shall not be named, but you can guess who, killed the bill at the last minute, and thankfully a blog covered that event, and so we made sure to get that out there on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter first, and on Twitter it just took off. Lots of people retweeted, favorited, spread the word, were outraged by it, and then politicians began writing op-eds about it. And so we had 3 op-eds written by legislators from both sides of the aisle who were supportive of the issue and were basically outraged that the bill was killed. And then Seattle Times, one of the major newspapers in Washington State, they wrote an op-ed decrying the killing of the bill. And then some of the alt weeklies came in and also wrote. And so we made sure to spread those stories around. Say, hey, look what the Stranger is saying, which is that alt weekly. Look what the Seattle Times is saying. We got that on Facebook and on Twitter. And then eventually down the line, we actually got those fees extended till 2019. And so we made sure that we also celebrated that and got that out there. And all together, it created a lot of engagement for us. A lot of people were involved in that advocacy, and we got more people to follow us on social media, which was all a big win. Over to you.
Great, thanks, Joaquin. So yeah, social media matters when it comes to advocacy. So let's dive in and start talking about some practical tools. So we're going to start with Facebook. Why Facebook? Well, even though there's all sorts of new social media platforms popping up all the time, especially for the young kids to be using, Facebook still is the one that has the most users and is the most popular. It's often a lot more personal, perhaps for that reason, and it's visual. So people really like to share photos on Facebook. Why should we be using it for advocacy? Well, honestly, you're probably already using Facebook for many things. If you're not already on Facebook, Facebook is one of the more user-friendly platforms to start with. It's where a lot of people are talking, so it's a great place to meet people where they already are and having conversations. There's a lot of information on Facebook, so from events that are advertised, community groups, nonprofit pages. Honestly, for a lot of smaller orgs too, it's easier to create a Facebook page before you even create a website. It feels even more accessible. So in terms of just getting not just static information, but relevant information in a timely manner, people are pushing that out all the time. So it's really easy to get those updates in your news feed is the Facebook jargon. So how can you use Facebook for advocacy? We're going to take you through a couple different types of advocacy posts, and I'll introduce you to the concepts, and then we'll walk you through it on Facebook. So first, it's a great way to introduce friends to causes and organizations. So in this visual we're sharing with you here, this is actually a screenshot of a post that our awesome Seattle U partner, Catherine, shared on Facebook. And so you'll see in this post that she talked about not only a topic and shared an article, but she talked about her friends, these nonprofit partners. It just so happens to be us. But you'll see here that in the post, the Washington Low-Income Housing Alliance, Firesteel, and then our partners, Columbia Legal Services, are mentioned and even tagged. And so by tagging, which we'll show you how to do practically soon, that means somebody can click on that organization and go directly to their page to get even more information. So it's a great way to say who you like and encourage your friends to look further into them and maybe connect with them as well. Another great ask is to ask people to go to events. If you're going to an event, it's pretty normal to then ask people to join you, and so you can just do that online too. So in this shot, our own Firesteel, Denise, is sharing a event that is actually still to come, so you can come join us. On Wednesday, January 28th, we're going to be doing some gong ringing down in Olympia in order to raise awareness. And so she's actually sharing the event, so you could click on that to register and to sign up. So Denise, let's now dive into Facebook itself so we can practically walk through how we can share an event. So Denise is being awesome enough to be logged into her own personal Facebook page. And so from her own personal site, we are going to click events. So Denise, where would you find events? Great. Okay, so she's in events, and then she's going to locate the correct event, which happens to be the one that we're seeing right now. So she's going to click on that event. So she clicked on it. She's now in that event, and now she needs to invite people to come to it. So she clicked on the button called invite, and her Facebook friends popped up. So let's see who she chooses to invite. Oh, it looks like she's choosing her friend Sean. Oh, and me. Oh, thanks for inviting me, Denise. Okay, so once she's selected those friends, she's clicking on send invites. And there you go. The invitations have been sent. So now when I'm on my Facebook, I'm going to see that invitation and I can click on it to see it. And then if I want to attend, there will be a button that says join, and I can join, and then all of the event information is actually going to be pushed to my personal page. So I'll be in the loop. So if there isn't a Facebook event, say one doesn't exist, but you know something's happening and you want to tell people about it, you can actually share the URL or the hyperlink. So for example, we want to share information about the Housing and Homelessness Advocacy Day. We are all going and we want you to go too. So Denise went to the Housing Alliance's website and she found the event information there and is now copying the URL and is going to bring that over to Facebook and create her own post to share that particular event. So she's just going to click on the status button so she can create a new status update. She has pasted the URL into the box there. And did you know that you can also select what photo shows up? So Denise is going to write what she wants to say about the event. Oh, I can't wait, Denise. How are you gonna, what's your hook? How are you gonna get us there? So let's advocate for policies that will help end homelessness. I'm into that. That works for me. Join me in Olympia. Oh, look, and she's tagging. So she's talking about the Low Income Housing Alliance, our friends, and in order to tag it, all she did was put the @ sign in front of the name. Because we like their page, it popped up as an option. So I do really highly encourage you to like the pages of the organizations that you're really interested in. So when you do want to talk about them or see their information, it just automatically populates and it makes it way easier. Oh my gosh, you're calling me out, Denise. So she even tagged me, an individual, not just a nonprofit organization, the Housing Alliance. So this is basically going to speak directly to me. It's going to be pretty much impossible for me to miss it, even with all the other information that pops up on Facebook. Because Denise tagged me by using the @ sign, I'm going to see this. So how are you choosing the right photo? Oh, look at that. So there's actually buttons in the photo box that popped up, and so you can scroll through and select the photo. Oh, no, I don't like that one. That's pretty good. I like that one. I like how there's lots of people advocating. Yeah, so there were at least 3 different photo options that popped up from the URL, and you can choose which one you want to use. Oftentimes, the ones that automatically pop up are not the best ones. It might be a logo that's really weird looking, and it's not going to make people want to click on it. So by selecting the best looking photo, which happened to be this one with people smiling, you're going to be a lot more likely to get more engagement and people interested in seeing that information. So once she does that, she'll be able to post the status and it will go out there on the interwebs. So you'll be able to share your example or share your own posts. We'll give you a couple of examples if you want to do some copying and pasting from our website to make it easy. You are more than welcome to do that. Or you can be creative and do your own. We'll definitely be putting a blog post out there that has a lot more tips and tools after this training. So you can copy and paste from there or come up with your own stuff. So that's Facebook in its most basic form for sharing some of the advocacy stuff that's coming up. Joaquin, I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's tackle Twitter. Okay, Joaquin, I think you're on mute.
All right, there I am.
There you go.
Hello, hello. So can everyone see?
Can you speak up a little bit?
Can everyone see the
There we go.
slide in front of you? All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Twitter, and Twitter can be pretty intimidating. I know a lot of folks can get onto Facebook relatively easily. It's a relatively easy process. Most people, when I go to workshops, they raise their hand when I ask them if they have Facebook. Twitter is a little bit a higher bar for some people. So for this part, it's going to be how I learned to stop worrying and love the Twitter. And for those of you who are movie fans, I put this up here just for you. If you don't get it, don't worry, but you should see Doctor Strangelove. It's one of my favorite movies. Okay, so pop quiz. It took radio 38 years to reach 50 million users, and this is a question which kind of alludes to the importance of Twitter. How long did it take Twitter? This is one that we've used before, so if you've seen this, please don't spoil the answer for your people sitting next to you. 50 million, 3 weeks and 9 months, 3 years. And it took 38 years for radio to reach 50 million. It only took Twitter 9 months. Should come as no surprise. We're a heavily connected internet world. And we're not suggesting that Twitter should replace books. Not at all. We love books. We're just saying that Twitter is a great tool for advocacy. Fastest growing demographic on Twitter. Youths between ages 10 and 19, young adults between ages 20 and 29, adults between ages 55 and 64, or ageless spam bots. The answer there should come as no surprise to many of you. The answer is actually 55-64, 79% growth since 2012. And these stats came out in 2013, so they could be a little bit different, but the research still is showing huge growth with this particular age group. 45-54, fast growing in both Facebook and Google+. Now, when you think about Twitter, when you visualize Twitter, I want you to think of similar to this. Some of you may know what this is. It's the old ticker tapes that would tell you if a stock is going up or going down. That's what Twitter is. It's kind of a stream of consciousness. It's your thoughts out there in the universe, and you can view other people's thoughts, other people can view your thoughts. It's almost a form of telepathy, if you think about it, but edited telepathy, if you will. So, again, with stock tickers, if you miss the stock going past you, it's okay. It'll come around again, especially if it's something that's that important. It'll come across your information as information again to you at some point. So think of Twitter. This is kind of actually a creepy infographic. I don't know how I made this. Sorry. It looks like birds are stabbing people in the face.
Can you scroll down to that one?
Sorry about that. To which one? Oh, am I not there?
Not yet.
Do you not see it? You don't see the little birdies?
I see a really miniature thumbnail on the side, but it didn't move to the next slide.
Oh, that's weird. I'm there, so hopefully it'll catch up.
Okay, sounds good.
So, anyways, just think of Twitter as your semi-private thoughts. Now, keep in mind, there's a curation involved with this. So we have thousands of thoughts per day, right? Some of them interesting, some of them not so interesting. And the whole point of Twitter is to put your most interesting thoughts out there. And I think this is the biggest barrier to Twitter that a lot of people face, is they think, oh, my random thoughts are not that important. But it's actually not true. I mean, there are billions of people out there in the world. Everyone has unique thoughts. You have a unique thought. You should put your thoughts out there because, one, it's a way of finding connection with other people who also have similar unique thoughts. Two, your uniqueness needs to be displayed for the whole world to see. And three, you have people, friends and family, who presumably love you, and they want to know how you're doing and what's up. They may not want to know every second of the day, but that's the point of Twitter, is that you can tune in every once in a while, see how someone's doing, and then tune back out and go about your daily life. So the biggest block I see to Twitter use is that people think that they don't have anything to say, and that's not true. You absolutely have something to say, and we have something to say, and if you agree with what we say, then please, by all means, feel free to tell people what we're saying. I don't know if that made any sense. More on that later.
Before you move on with your awesome slide deck, can you maybe toggle back and forth between you and, oh, there we go. It caught up, it looks like. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Moving on.
All right, great. So quick basics around Twitter, because Twitter has a lot more limitations than Facebook. So a lot of you already know this. You only have 140 characters or less to communicate that thought, which makes sense because most of the thoughts we have are pretty quick. Most of the time they're one sentence. So when I say character, that includes spaces, asterisks, numbers, anything that moves the cursor forward is a character. Twitter has made it so that you can put a website link on, and that only takes 20 characters, no matter how long that link is, which is great because a lot of the times we want to communicate more than just that thought. Maybe want to communicate the background or further information. So a URL to a web page is a great way to do that. The thing about Twitter that a lot of us already know is it's instantaneous real time. So, I just tweeted a few minutes ago that I was on this Social Media 101 video hangout with our friends at Firesteel and with a picture of Aaron. And a lot of people who are tuning in also saw that right at that time. And if they wanted to, they could have joined in on this video hangout. So for those of you who are, a little bit savvy around print journalism or journalism, the Twitter thought, the tweet is really just a headline and lead. Governor funds housing trust fund. Maybe a little bit more information that includes the specifics, but not much more. And now updating it takes seconds. How long does it take for you to generate a thought? I mean, it only takes a little bit more to put that thought onto your smartphone or into your computer and to put that out there. Okay, so it's really quick, which is great because especially if you're at an event and no one else is at that event and you want people to know what just happened, it's a great way to facilitate that that news or that piece of information. And again, you are the newsmaker. If you're at a place where no one else is, or you have a pretty interesting thought about something and you want to see who else out there agrees or wants to take that thought and run with it, that could be you. And now the thing about Twitter that I think is important for you to understand is that when Facebook, out of the box, when you join Facebook, it's immediately a closed system. So people have to ask permission to follow you. You have to ask permission to follow other people for the most part. Now with Twitter, out of the box, meaning as soon as you open an account, well, it's actually pretty open. It's actually something that you follow people, other people follow you. It's a free-for-all, and that's kind of the point, so that everyone can share their thoughts with everyone else and facilitate connection, education, and for us, advocacy. Okay.
Hey, Joaquin, can you
Yep.
toggle again? I think it just freezes and it needs a little toggle. There we go.
Yeah. So what I do is I just exit out and then go back in. So let me know if that keeps happening.
Okay, we'll do. It's working, whatever method you've got.
All right, and so this is something that Aaron had mentioned, is that interaction is key to social media. You have to put the social in social media. So, the first step is to put your thoughts out there, for the world to see, and it could be something about cats or about dogs or about the weather or about your food. All that's fine, but it's also important for you to go out there and see what other people are doing. It's about interaction. And it's about that conversation you have with someone in the grocery line while you're waiting for the cashier, or that casual conversation you have on the bus with someone who's standing next to you. That's what Twitter does in the digital world. It allows you to have those conversations without being on the bus or being at the grocery store. Excuse me. Now, again, this is because of because of smartphones and because of the ubiquity of these tiny devices, these supercomputers in our pockets. A lot of social media can be anytime, anywhere. And you don't even need Wi-Fi in a lot of instances because of how our phones can connect to the interwebs. Now, a few basics. Just like Facebook, you need a username, or you need a name that's unique to you that people can find you at. So it's really simple. It can be only 15 characters long, and it has to have the @ symbol in the front, no spaces. So you can see here some examples of different individuals who are politicians, movie stars, organizations who have unique usernames.
Can you reset again?
Perfect. There you go. This is good. It keeps me on my toes, so I can breaks my thoughts, so I can keep going and be like, oh yeah, I wanted to say this.
You're welcome.
So a lot of you know that Governor Jay Inslee, our governor, he's quite adept at social media, has a great team over at his office, and so he has a very, very updated and very well-tracked Twitter page and Facebook page actually. And so his page is at GOV Inslee, and easy to find. Follow him, no problems at all. Okay, so how it works is that when you put that username, it's like Governor Inslee's name, in a tweet, it flags it for him, so he knows that someone is thinking about him or talking about him or mentioning him in a thought. And so someone at his office or he himself may look at what's called a notification page and see the thought with his name on it. Okay. And then a hashtag is something, it's in Facebook, but I see it better used for Twitter for the most part. And hashtags are a way to organize your thoughts or your tweets. So you put a hashtag in front of a group of letters, and what that does is it flags it for other people to see.
Can you toggle to show us the hashtag?
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
There you go. So you can see a list here of hashtags that we use here at the Housing Alliance. And a lot of these are ones that people can use to track our advocacy or how a bill is doing. And all of our legislative lead priorities have a hashtag. I'm not going to go over all of these. You can go to our website and you can find out more information about the hashtags we use. But all of our priorities have hashtags, so you can track. Let's just say you're a big fan of Housing Trust Fund advocacy. You can use HTF 2015 with a hashtag in front of it to share your thoughts about it or to see what other people are doing or saying. We also have events that have hashtags. We have, of course, Housing and Homelessness Advocacy Day, which is coming up February 17th. That has its own hashtag, HHAD 2015. And we have other events, too, that we usually tell people ahead of time what those hashtags are. But you can always go to our website to find out what those hashtags are for our legislative priorities. Okay, so if you have, if you happen to have an old Twitter profile that's gathering dust on the shelf, and you are like, I want to bring that back, you can tweet to us now. You can use the hashtag HHAD 2015 because this social media hangout is in preparation for Advocacy Day. And you can also make sure to tag the Housing Alliance and Firesteel. Oh, I got Firesteel. Sorry, everyone. Firesteel's tag is Firesteel WA. Yep. My apologies. Sorry.
Otherwise, you'll get some weird fire starter thing.
Oh no! No pyros. No housing and homelessness. So that's Firesteel WA. I have it correct in the actual tweet below.
Yeah. Can you toggle it again? Perfect. Toggle is apparently my word for this hangout.
Toggle is like, it reminds me of Pee-wee's Playhouse when there was a secret word. Yeah. So you can put it all together, and these are sample tweets that you could use for advocacy. And when you think of advocacy, you're telling an elected official how you feel about an issue. You're telling other people how you feel about an issue. You're also educating people about an issue. And so, especially if it's a lead priority of the Housing Alliance, we want you to tell people that you support, or maybe in some cases, if it's an issue that has just come up and it's not an issue that's for housing and homelessness, maybe we want you to oppose it. But for the most part, we want you to support our, completely, we want you to support our lead priorities. And these are examples up here on the screen of how you can do that. And for those of you going to Advocacy Day, we have a handout in the packet that goes into more information about all of these. So I just want to let you know other opportunities for you to use your social media muscle. We have a social media day of action that's coming up Tuesday, February 3rd. That's the entire day. And we want to basically have this hashtag HHAD 2015 be spread all over the Twitter interwebs. We want lots of people to tweet it, retweet it, to put their own spin on things, to upload funny pictures. But the whole point of this is not actually just to get the Twitter feed out there into the world, but we also want people to register for Advocacy Day to make it easier for us to give you the most amazing Advocacy Day possible. So again, Tuesday, February 3rd, mark your calendars. It's a chance for you to use social media and use it as a force of good. So this is an example of tweets that happened last year for Social Media Day of Action.
Toggle.
Oh, there you
Great.
go.
Yep.
All right, so these are some people got really creative, uploaded pictures, did things called unselfies, which I don't think we have any time in here to talk about, but it's something that for later topics we can talk about for social media. And and then later on, because we always have social media day of action a few days before Advocacy Day, and the day of it was a particularly successful day because we had a number of people both at Advocacy Day and also from their homes tweet about HHAD. Back then it was HHAD 2014. This year it'll be 2015. So Twitter quick setup guide. Step one, sign up for an account. It's really easy. And I was going to go over, I think we're probably pressed for time. I was going to go over the Twitter page and to go through, how things work and to show you around. But actually, I find that the Twitter page is pretty intuitive, and I think that once you poke around, you can get a hang of it pretty easily. So sign up for an account. You got to upload a picture of yourself. If you don't upload a picture of yourself, it'll be an egg, which an egg
I don't
is
want to
fine.
talk to an egg.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to an egg. I like them in my omelets. Don't like them
Yeah,
as
eggs are weird
avatars.
online.
Yeah. So upload a picture of yourself. Start following us. Oh, look, I have the right Firesteel Law tag there.
Great.
So
Can you
follow.
toggle again?
Oh, yeah,
There we go.
sure. So start following us and our friends at Firesteel and other housing and homelessness organizations. There's some great orgs out there who are doing some pretty cool things with social media. There's at DESC, there's at Youth Care, there's at politicians who you might be representing you, so lawmakers. So go out there and find interesting people, and you don't have to get too carried away. Maybe just follow, to start just 20, 30 people, just
What
to
do you mean
start.
by following, Joaquin? How would I do that?
Oh, sure. Let me go to the Housing Alliance profile, and I can take you through
Awesome.
that really quick. And then step four, just retweet, favorite, reply, and I can show you how to do that. It's pretty similar to Facebook. And then step five, again, start small. Maybe post one original tweet a day to start, to get, like training wheels for your social media bicycle. And then after that, you can start um, upping it to something else, to maybe six or more, or get into the double digits. All right, can everyone now see me again?
Not yet. There you are.
Hey, welcome back. So,
Yeah.
so I'm going to quickly go through. I'm going to take you to the Twitter page for the Housing Alliance. So you see me here, and then I'm going to leave you once again. So this is the Housing Alliance Twitter page. Can you see this now?
I can. Seattle U Partners, can you see these?
Yeah, we're good?
Yeah, go ahead and proceed.
Okay, so the question that Aaron had is about how do you follow someone,
Yeah,
and
sounds cool.
you can see that this right here, this is your ticker tape. This is your stock quote line of thoughts, and you can see we have the Gates Foundation's pretty active, King 5, so we have all these different thoughts, and it's okay if you miss something. It's okay if something goes by and you don't catch it, because again, some of this stuff comes around the next time. But this is your ticker, and you can just see what's happening. Now, let's just say you want to look for people to follow. Well, what Twitter does sometimes is they use fancy algorithms, and they guess and they suggest people for you to follow, and you can see that here. And you can simply follow someone by clicking the follow button here. I don't know either of these folks, so I'm not going to follow them quite yet. But another thing that you could do is you can go to someone who you think is pretty cool. I think Firesteel is pretty cool. So up here in the search bar for Twitter, I'm going to find Firesteel. And thankfully, it populates it for me. So I'm going to go to Firesteel. I'm going to see who they're following, because they tend to follow pretty cool people. And then it gives me a whole list of folks here. And Oh, I like On the Media. On the Media is a great NPR program. I didn't know that they're on Twitter, but thanks to Firesteel, I know, bam, following them. So
Nice.
now their tweets should appear on our stream of consciousness, Twitter. So I'm going to go back to home right here, and then once they post something, it should appear here. Okay. So that's an example of how to follow someone. And you can see we're following about 1,000 so people. We have a few more people following us, which is great. And you can consider this your kind of cockpit. This is the area that you interact with the most, and how you can see what people are talking about. Other things you can see down here, you can see trends. So these are basically the hashtags that a lot of people are using at this very moment. And so hopefully February 17th during Advocacy Day, our hashtag at hashtag HHAD 2015 will show up in these trends so that
So,
other people
Joaquin,
can
I have another
discover.
question.
Sure.
How how would I know who's talking about Housing and Homelessness Advocacy Day now if I want
Sure.
to learn more about it?
Sure. If you want to learn about Advocacy Day Now, again, the hashtag is the hashtag and then HHAD 2015. So you type that up into the search bar here. And a lot of people will confuse this search field with this search field. This is
Mm,
for your URL. You can leave that alone. You're going to be down here at this
mhm.
search field with the magnifying glass. So just type in the hashtag, and you can find that hashtag at our website, wliha.org. Do a little search, and then
Oh.
it shows you by default the top ones, which I mean that's okay because basically it'll see who's in your network and it'll show you the people in your network.
Oh my
So
gosh, I love this. This is so meta. Sorry to interrupt, Joaquin, but look, that top
there's
one is our Seattle U
yeah.
partners, and we're on the wall. Anyway, cool. Yeah.
So I really dig this. I like this picture. Hannah's a cool person. I'm going to retweet that, which basically means retweet. I'm taking this post and I'm putting it onto my stream of consciousness feed for other people to see. People will still know it's from Hannah, but it'll be the people who follow me who see that she did that. And maybe what'll happen is they'll say, "Oh, that's really cool. She's over there at Seattle University. She seems really connected with what's happening at Seattle University regarding housing and homelessness. So I'm going to start following Hannah." And that's how you build this kind of momentum to get folks to follow folks, and you build this network of advocates, allies, friends, and partners who are helping forward our mission to ensure everyone in Washington State has an opportunity for a safe, healthy, affordable home.
Yeah.
So you can go to all, and it's a risky click because sometimes there are other people who maybe aren't using HAD 2015 for Advocacy Day, but for the most part, I did some research, and we pretty much have the monopoly on
Neat.
HAD 2014. So that's
Way to
nice.
go, us.
Yeah. So we have Catherine. Catherine's using the word awesome. I love the word awesome, so I'm going to retweet Catherine. And I'm also going to favorite that. So favorite is just a way of saying, yeah, I'm down with that. I like that post. Right on.
It's kind of
Right
like a
on.
back pat, too. Yeah.
Yeah, thumbs up to that. Whereas this one, this retweet, it's more like, oh, I want people in my networks to see what you said, so I'm going to repost that, and people are going to know it's from you. You can also, again, the thing about social media is it's about interaction. It's about folks talking to each other, and so there's a reply here, which is what I'm doing now, and I can say, right on with your bad selves. Exclamation point. And I let them know that I'm hecka down with what they're doing, tweets, and then the conversation has started. And I could have probably said something a little more insightful, but that's just an example
You're on the
of,
fly.
I'm trying to be on the
Yeah.
fly here. So it's just an example of some of the things that can happen. And think of it as, again, public interaction, public conversations that are happening, really quickly that other people can get in on and other people can get involved in. And so what a lot of what the Housing Alliance does too is that we do action alerts, excuse me, where we get people to send emails or call their legislator to tell them that they support a certain piece of legislation or a bill. For instance, one of the things that we want our folks to do is sign a petition, getting letting the governor and elected officials know that we support a budget that raises revenue and that helps fund the social safety net. So
Mhm.
see this URL right here, that will lead people to the petition. So a lot of times what we do is we take that URL and then we put that out there to the world. So here's the URL again. See, it doesn't use all of the entire spaces that the URL takes up, and I can say sign our revenue petition, protect our social safety net.
Yeah, and it's interesting too that you drop the URL in there, and Twitter is different, that it doesn't populate a photo automatically like Facebook.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
a
no,
different medium to keep that in
yeah,
mind.
no need for photos, or no need to prioritize
Visuals. Yeah.
visuals in a lot of cases, although they certainly help. So sign a revenue petition and protect our social safety net. I want people who are searching for housing and homelessness to find this too if they're doing a search for it. This is kind of a different thing if you want to let people know where you're tweeting from. It's kind of a way of saying, like, 206,
Or it's funny when
Washington,
you're in
USA.
Olympia and
Yep,
advocating to
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
A lot of the times, if you're on your smartphone, it'll automatically tell the world kind of where you are. I mean, not
Yeah.
exactly like longitude and latitude, but at least the city. So
And if you don't want to, if you care about your privacy and you don't want to, don't worry, you don't have to.
turn off
Yeah.
location. Bam. No location. But I want people to know where I am. We're talking statewide. We're a statewide organization. Tweets, and now it's out there, and
Awesome.
hopefully someone will find it and someone will sign it, right?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, look,
So
Catherine responded back. She's hecka down with it too. Thanks,
I
Catherine.
believe it. Yeah. So we only have about 10 more minutes. Joaquin, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor because we've been talking a lot about digital and online advocacy, which is awesome and what we're about. But for those who still really do care about traditional advocacy, I think it would be awesome to highlight the postcards that people can find on the Housing Alliance. So if you could maybe look those up so we can share with people where to find those on the website before we leave. For our Seattle U partners, if you have any questions, definitely please let Catherine know so Catherine can send those our way so we can try to address those before we wrap up. Denise, if anybody sent you anything behind the scenes, let us know as well. I'm just going to summarize a couple things that we talked about so it's really firmly in our minds moving forward as we advocate. As Joaquin was talking about, social media, when done well, ultimately is about relationships and it's about community. So I was really excited when Joaquin was showing on Twitter, just looking at the hashtag, that the people talking about it are our friends and it is a community. And the more that we bolster our message and can push it out there, it's really exciting when you actually see legislators respond to you or legislators retweet what you're putting out there. So that's an example of it being done well. It's about community and spreading the word. Remember to talk to people. So if you do put something out there, whether on Facebook or Twitter, tag us. Again, tagging requires you to use the @sign. That way we know that you're talking about us, that you want a response, and it becomes a conversation. So it really isn't about hiding behind your smartphone. It's about connecting. So giving a couple of resources too before we sign off. We over at Firesteel host a monthly podcast. This is a audio and video conversation that Denise and I have talking about digital trends. So what is going on in the advocacy world and digital world, and how can we bring those together and bring that into our advocacy work? So you can find that podcast, Spark Change, on iTunes, or you can look it up on our Firesteel website. We also have a really exciting brand new resource for us advocates beginning this year. We partnered with StoryCorps this last summer, and StoryCorps brought facilitators out to the Puget Sound region and helped us collect over 80 stories of family homelessness, and those are now on the Firesteel website. You can filter them to find stories based on different topics, and you can also look them up by legislative district. So we really are looking at it through a policy angle so they can be really actionable for advocacy as well. Joaquin also mentioned that February 3rd is our social media day of action. So whether you're a social media guru or you're just getting your feet wet, it's a great day to get online and to look up information from whether it's the Housing Alliance, Firesteel, the Seattle U Project on Family Homelessness. We're going to be pushing stuff out there. You can find it and share it as well and add to that. And then Joaquin, did you have the postcard that people could find?
Yep, I do. Let me share
Switch
my
over to you.
screen. So I'll show you where, and hopefully you can see this. Can you see the web page that's I have on my screen?
I'm looking at it.
All right, great. So if you go to, again, WLIHA.org, that stands for Washington Low Income Housing Alliance, you go to where it says Advocacy, and down below you'll see Housing and Homelessness Advocacy Day. Go ahead and click here. And then on the menu at the top page here, you have different links that'll take you down to different sections of the page. Go ahead and click Flyers and Other Materials right here. And that'll take you to Postcards for Advocates Unable to Attend Advocacy Day. What you can do is you can download and print out this PDF that has three postcards on one letter size paper, and you can cut it here, and then you could sign it and send your own message to your legislator. And then what you can do a number of things. You could send this to us, and we'll make sure it gets there for Advocacy Day. Or if you know of an organization near you that is going to Advocacy Day, you can make sure it goes with them, and then they will in turn make sure it gets to us, and we will make sure it gets to your legislator. So, so these postcards are another opportunity for you to advocate for affordable housing and homelessness issues.
Awesome. Thanks, Joaquin. So I believe our Seattle U partners have an awesome resource with them, someone in person who can answer all of their social media questions. So that is exciting. If you are viewing online and still have any questions, just a reminder that you can reach out to us. Denise's email is up there on the screen. You can absolutely email us any questions you have. Joaquin, Denise, and I also love talking social media in person as well, so if you happen to attend the Housing and Homelessness Advocacy Day, we will be doing a social media workshop there. We are also taking a workshop on the road in preparation for Advocacy Day, so if you happen to live out in the Yakima area, we'll be there on February 5th. And if you just want us to come to a group that you may have anytime during the year, don't hesitate to reach out and ask us. So with that, any final words, Joaquin?
Yes, I just wanted to let people know about one more resource that they have, and that is also at our website. If you go to resources, aptly named, and you go to Learn at Lunch, there's a number of webinars and workshops that we have, online workshops that we have coming up, so you can deepen your understanding about the affordable housing need across the state. We have one about a recent study that was released by Commerce that is one of the most comprehensive studies in a very long time that goes into detail about the housing need not only across the state but in your community. And so that's going to be February 13th, and you can sign up at our website here. And then after that, right here, February 4th is the first one, and And we're going to have actually people from Commerce present the results of that study with us. So that's Wednesday, February 4th. And then a week later, on Friday, February 13th, we're going to put our own spin on it and talk about how you can use the guide as a tool or the assessment as a tool for advocacy. Because when it comes to advocacy, you want your personal story, you want to highlight the stories of people primarily affected, but it's also important to have the numbers, the stats to back up the personal story. So feel free to, there's still room available for you to sign up for any of these workshops coming up.
Great, thank you. So with that, we're going to say goodbye to our Seattle U partners in person. Thank you so much for joining us. For everyone else who joined us online, we appreciate every single one of you, your commitment to advocacy to ending homelessness. We'll see you either in person at the Housing and Homelessness Advocacy Day on February 17th or online. So go forth and advocate.
Yeah, if you have any questions that you think of later, feel free to tweet them to us at Firesteel WA or WLIHA, or send us an email the old-fashioned way. And go Hawks!
Go Hawks!